Hi, this is Eddie Hearn, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Lights Out. I'm Faisal Khan, and with me via Zoom, delighted to be joined all the way from sunny Glasgow, Mr. Kash Farooq. Kash, good afternoon. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, alhamdulillah. It's all good. How you been? All right?
Yeah, very, very well. Thank you for asking. Obviously, it's been a while since we last spoke to you. Scheduled to be out at the early few weeks of April. First of all, how's training camp and how's preparation going for that date?
Yeah, everything's been going good, alhamdulillah. Training's been hard and got a few more weeks to go, and that's it, and hopefully again, next few weeks are gonna be, I'm gonna ramp it right up with sparring and everything and a few more things. So, yeah.
You obviously told us before the start of the interview that you'd been heading down to sunny old Bolton. Can you tell us what the secret is behind heading down to Bolton? I mean, is there anyone in particular that you've been sparring with?
Yeah, it was we were down Keaton Founds and we had a few people turning over, so we just went down there for sparring. So we're gonna be try again more sparring as we were going down south. And just traveling about getting good sparring. Just do where there is good possible. Sparring wise, where there is kicking about.
We've seen over the last few weeks, especially with Eddie Hearn's fighters, fighters such as Florian Marku, Zelfa Barrett, that he's been putting them in real 50-50 fights. And
Yeah.
obviously, you're at a stage of your career where you're heading into your 16th fight now. What can you tell us about a potential opponent for that April date? Is there anyone in particular that we might know? And is it going to be a step up opponent?
Yeah, to be honest, although I think they are looking at some world class opponents, but I can't. Nothing's been confirmed to be honest, and I don't want to start saying names and that, and so but they are trying to look for some good opposition opponents. They're gonna obviously come there to win. Which obviously it's gonna be a real test for me. So, but there's nothing's been confirmed. So just talks at the moment. But whoever it is, I'm preparing the best I can, and I'm ready to perform. On the night. And this is obviously gonna show what level I'm at once obviously these opponents come.
Are we expecting this fight to perhaps be at European level or maybe at British level?
No, obviously I wouldn't even say European to be honest. It depends. They're looking at some world class level opponents. So it could be maybe above that. So just depending who they get. With how things COVID restrictions and that as well, because they might get someone and they might change the rules. So, but the way at the moment the way things are going, they're trying to get someone quite high ranked up on one of the organizations. I think anyway. That's what I've been told by my team.
2021 is obviously a big year for yourself. You'll be hoping to get as close as you can possibly in terms of towards the world title. Obviously, it's your first outing of the year, and it's on a good card as well. The Conor Ben Samuel Vargas undercard. What's your plans and ambitions for 2021? I mean, are we perhaps thinking get towards the European title, or do you think this might even be the year where you could push for a world title shot?
My always plans just take a fight at a time. I've always had that mindset, just take a fight at a time because you don't know what's gonna end up happening. So I just take a fight at a time. And ideally, my plan is just to stay busy, keep winning and staying busy this year because obviously once that fight's out the way, you don't know when you're gonna be out next. In an ideal world, obviously if things were normal, you'd be boxed maybe 3 to 4 times, but the way things are, you don't know when you're gonna end up boxing. So after this fight, I'm fingers crossed I can go and get out early and keep going. I'm trying to be busy as I can this year. So that's my plan. Try to catch up with last year. I only boxed once, and to be honest, it was a year wasted for me basically. So I wanna keep busy, and you don't get any younger. Time doesn't stop for anyone. So I
When you look at this division, it's very exciting, especially with the domestic fighters that we've got. Paul Butler, Dennis McCann. Obviously, there's Kalia Fight, there's the Edwards brothers as well, and a guy that you've shared the ring with in Lee McGregor.
Yeah.
I mentioned before earlier on in the interview, Eddie Hearn's been making a lot of 50-50 fights. Would it be ideal for you to be involved in these 50-50 fights this year?
Yeah, 100%. That's the fights you wanna be in. You don't wanna be obviously. You don't mean fight. You don't wanna be in fights that everybody thinks you're gonna win. You don't mean fight with your You know what I mean? Where 50-50 fights where that's how people get interested in fights. You don't want to be in fights where people are thinking, oh, he's just gonna blow him out a couple of rounds and that's it. You know what I mean? Good fights, and that's how you develop and learn and see where level you're at. You know, you're never gonna find out unless you step up. So I want to be in these type of fights, you know, to know where I'm at and obviously step up levels I'm going.
As I mentioned, obviously Lee McGregor is a guy that you shared the ring with in one of your previous fights. There was a very good fight between you and Lee McGregor. He steps up for the European title against Karen Guerfi. You know, it promises to be an exciting fight. It's an MTK Global show. Firstly, you know, obviously every fighter wants to avenge a defeat on his record, and as I said, it was a very close fight. What are the chances of perhaps if you can come through on April and he can get past Karen Guerfi, we can have that rematch and this time for the European title?
Yeah, it could happen. It could happen to be honest next, you know what I mean? And you know, and fingers crossed if it does, you know what I mean? It'd be great if the fans are there, but my mind I'm not really bothered if they are or not. You know what I mean? I just want to box. You know, whoever they put in front of me, I'm ready to box, you know, and if he's after this fight, I'll be ready. You know what I mean? But my mind's not in that fight. And to be honest, his mind's not probably not in that fight as well at the moment. He's probably looking at what's the next fight and I'll be fully focused on that. You know, and the way I'm armed now, I'm not really caring what's after that. I'm just caring what's on 10th of April for me. You know, and once I get that job away, then I can start sit down and discussing what's next for me.
As you mentioned, obviously last year was a difficult year for yourself, only fighting once. And since last March, it's been difficult times for everybody. How have you managed to sort of like stay positive, stay calm, and keep yourself active, knowing that potential dates are on the verge of coming towards you?
Yeah, to be honest, I've got obviously I've signed a contract with Sky Sports Eddie Hunt, so you know I was lucky obviously that I signed it a couple of months before the pandemic hit. You know what I mean? Because see, if I didn't sign that, I'll be sitting on the shelf right now, no really be getting fights, because you know no, I mean I would have just been hanging about for a year. I would have been last year. I would be lucky to even get a fight. So I'm really lucky just to be signed the contract and getting out. You know what I mean? Even getting dates. You know what I mean? Because I would have just been training and training and training. That would have been it. Of course, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but it would have been really mentally exhausting. You know what I mean? Just training and training and nothing coming up. And obviously with this coronavirus, we don't know when small horses are gonna open back up. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's really difficult at the moment.
What can you tell us what the situation is in Scotland? I mean, I remember when we spoke a little earlier on, you said your
Yeah,
dream ambition is to sell out an arena in Scotland.
yeah,
Obviously, there's going to be a few restrictions being lifted as the weeks go by, heading in towards the
yeah.
summer. What's the situation down in Scotland right now in terms of allowing fans back into gatherings such as boxing events and small hall shows?
To be honest, same as England, obviously, but we're probably a few weeks behind you. That's probably the best way to explain it. Because I think the gyms don't open up until end of April, and even and just normal things. And depends on when the things they've not give us a day when they're gonna start holding events and that, like hospitality hotels. So it could be a while, you know. It could maybe after summer, you know, because but wherever it happens, we're always a few weeks behind England. So you know, so we just need to wait and see, take it day by day and week by week, you know.
It was announced the other day that your fellow Scotsman, Josh Taylor, will take on Jose Ramirez for obviously the undisputed Super
Yeah.
Lightweight Championship on May the 22nd. It's a big fight. I'm pretty sure you know Josh quite well. He's done brilliant things so far in boxing. He's considered one of the most exciting talents to come through British boxing right now. Firstly, how much would it mean for not only Scotland, but for obviously fighters like yourself to see Josh Taylor becoming the undisputed champion, because we haven't had an undisputed champion from Britain since, well, Lennox Lewis, I believe.
Yeah, it's true. I think yeah, it'd be a big thing, you know. I mean, to be honest, it'd be a really big thing. Obviously, Wednesday from obviously Scotland as well, and you know, if he doesn't, he'll likely to go up weight. You know, I mean, I think skill wise, he is better than Ramirez. You know, I think he is better, and obviously his last few fights, Josh Taylor, have been really impressive. You know, and but you know, it's always just dependent of things go. But I do think Josh Taylor will beat him. I do think that, and I think he will become undisputed. I think he'll go up in weight, and I think that's when he'll get a real challenge at welterweight.
Yeah, 100%. It'd be good to see him in the ring with the likes of the Crawford.
I think it's probably. I think it's probably if he does get challenged, it'll be probably a welterweight. If he does get obviously get really really hard fights, you know what I mean, where he's obviously up against that. But I think the big names are at welterweight, and like Errol Spencer, Terence Crawford, Sean Porter, all of them. I think they'll give him hard fights. But don't get me wrong, I still think he can beat a lot of them. You know what I mean? But I think the real test are welterweight, and but Ramirez, I think he will beat him. To be honest, I think he's just a few steps ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. And I'd love to see Josh Taylor make that step up to 147 and get in the ring with the likes of the Crawfords, the Spencers, the Porters, maybe even the Pacquiaos. Final question. I just want to ask your opinion on Amir Khan. Obviously, it's been quite a long time since we last seen him in a ring with Scott Dibb.
Yeah.
If you don't want to count that as a true test, then you'd have to go back to 2018 April when he fought Terence Crawford. I'm pretty sure you looked up to Amir Khan when you was coming up in your early days as a boxer. What would you like to see, the Pride of Bolton do next?
Yeah, just like I think to be honest, I've always wanted to see him box Kell Brook. I think that's a really good fight. I've always wanted to see that fight. I know they're not at the best anymore, both of them, you know what I mean? But it's still a good fight. I would love to watch, and I would love to see what the result would be, you know what I mean? But depends, you know what I mean? Khan doesn't he doesn't need to box anymore, because I think he's done everything. He became a world champion, and anything he does after is just a bonus, you know what I mean? And he doesn't. I think he's into promotion now, and whatever he does is just a bonus after, But I think he did say he wants to box one more time or a couple more time after the next. So I'd love to see him in another big name. Maybe Terence. No, well, sorry. Will Kell Brook. I think that's a perfect fight to happen. So yeah.
Well, it's definitely a fight I think the whole of the British public would like to see. Kash, as we bring the interview to an end, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's just hopefully this coronavirus pandemic goes away soon. We can get back to our normal life. But it's been over. It's been coming up for a year anyway. With lockdown and that. But just carry on with life and the way the things are at the moment.
Well, fingers crossed. That's the plan. Hopefully, we can get back to some sort of normality pretty time soon, as it is coming up to a year. Just thank you very much for your time. Really good speaking to you. And fingers crossed for April 10th. We'll be keeping our eyes closely out on your social media pages when you can announce an opponent. And good luck for that night. And we'll be looking forward to tuning in to see you in action.
No, thanks for FAISAL, inshallah. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much for talking to Lights Out.
There you go.